This is the Mulligan Stew Podcast. I'm Terry David Mulligan. Thank you for joining me. It's that time of year again. We're talking about festival season. All of the music festivals. Everybody's festivals happen right now. But the music festival, especially in the West, is alive and well. For the second or third year in a row, I've done interviews with the artistic directors of the Winnipeg, Calgary, Canmore, Edmonton, Vancouver Island, and Vancouver Folk Festivals. And when we're all done this festival run, which will happen in a couple of weeks, the complete conversations that we had will be on the Mulligan Stew podcast and the Terry David Mulligan YouTube channel. It's really good. They know each other. They do business together. They're competitors, but they're friends. They're artistic directors of all of their festivals. And they're responsible for the music and the performances on stage. They are, because they're the people that booked it. This week, we're heading for Vancouver and Fiona Black, and we're also headed for Calgary, the Calgary Folk Fest, which happens on the most gorgeous spot on the planet, Princess Island Park. Actually, Vancouver's not bad with Jericho. You have the Bow River flowing around this island. It's phenomenal. Kerry Clark, the artistic director, is going to join us. So Fiona will bring you in on Vancouver. Kerry Clark will talk about the Calgary Folk Fest. The Vancouver Folk Festival happens July 19 through 21, and the Calgary Folk Fest happens July 25 through 28. If you go to the Mulligan Stew website, you'll find all of the connections, the details. Enjoy this conversation. Here we go. We're going to start Fiona Black in Vancouver. July 19 through 21 in Vancouver. Fiona Black, artistic director, welcomes you to Jericho Beach.
The site is certainly iconic. We have 45 acts this year, and what's new is we're going back to the 10 a.m. start. I kind of fought the 10 a.m. start. It's like, who wants to get up? I don't want to get up early, but we're going to have some social dancing sessions. We're going to have an Arabic local group to teach us how to dabki dance.
Is that the 47 Soul?
To go with 47 Soul, this Palestinian group who have two dabki dancers. So the local dancers are going to do a session to teach everybody how to do this kind of dance. So when 47 Soul come up, they're going to be able to do the dabki dancing, which is really fun. And on Sunday morning, we're going to have a local Bhangra group teach us all how to Bhangra. But I thought 10 a.m., what do I want to do? I want to get moving, so I get some energy to carry me through the day. So that's kind of a new.
You have the Maori group as well. I mean, nobody's going to be sleeping during that set.
No, and the Mama Mihirangi and her band are going to close Sunday, so I think that's going to get us all up on our feet and going crazy. That really excited about her and her band.
Now, Fiona, here's a smart move, because it was already formed in its own way. Highway 61 revisited it. Steve Dawson, he loves doing full albums and finding people like Barney and John Boutte and Jim Burns and Mick Flannery and Ndidi O and Don Pemberton and Susie Ungerleider, Ferris and Jason Romero and Alvin Youngblood Hart, all of them doing songs from Highway 61. It's just a fantastic stage presence.
It's such an iconic album. There's an awful lot of Bob Dylan fans, and it's a really great way to have a collaborative show with some of the visiting artists and our local artists. We put together a killer house band, and it was a big hit last year when we did American Beauty Reimagined. So we're relaunching that. I think our festival, we try to appeal to everyone from 0 to 100, and we beefed up our little folks area this year. The demographic that we were struggling to bring in is the 20 to 40-year-olds. Yeah. We kind of lose that demographic, so we've made a real concerted effort to have some of the big indie stars like James Vincent McMorrow, who just has a fantastic new album out, Leif Vollebeck, Katie Tupper, Pilk Silk from up north.
Milk Carton Kids.
Milk Carton Kids for sure. And they span multiple generations, I think.
What's Daniel Lapp up to? I'm fascinated by him.
Dan Lapp, he's got a pretty big presence at our festival, because we like to take advantage of not just his fiddle chops, but his trumpet chops as well. So he's going to be playing with John Boutte. He's got a very young group from his BC Fiddle Orchestra, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. So he's got Max, the Wonder Kid, who's a 13-year-old who's just blowing people away. So it's really fun to have really young kids performing at our festival, and the other two are a little bit older, but that's really fun to have the stars of his BC fiddle orchestra joining us this year.
A couple of names jump out at me: Kevin Bright and Cyril Baptiste.
Yeah, what a great collaboration.
Wow.
Kevin Bright, just one of our great treasures in Canada. What a unique individual, unique artist, incredible guitarist. And Cyril Baptista, he's just this Brazilian wonder kid. He's not a kid, but he's a percussionist and he is one of the most creative, inventive artists I've ever seen. He's a complete improviser too. So I'm really going to enjoy having him join workshops. He can play with anybody. And he brings such a effervescent joy and spirit to everything that he does. Yeah.
What night are the Wood Brothers?
Wood Brothers, love them. I had the joy to see them finally live for the first time this year, and just they're incredible. Kerry turned me on to the Wood Brothers and had them at her festival, and they were Calgary favorites. So, and Chris Wood is interesting. He lives in BC now.
Yeah.
So he's now a Canadian, and he's married to a Canadian, and he has a hops farm on Pender Island.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on these Gulf Islands. By the way, what's your website?
It is thefestival.bc.ca.
Fiona Black, the artistic director of the Vancouver Folk Festival. Now, Kerry Clark, a dynamic individual, a power source, actually. She is the artistic director of the Calgary Folk Fest. Calgary, July 25 through 28 at that incredible Princess Island Park, the home of River Cafe. I mean, to be able to dine and have wine and have a folk festival at the same time is just ridiculously great. How'd the booking go? Who did you get that you really, really, really buzzed on, Kerry?
Well, we did a lot of work to get the roots, and so we're pretty thrilled about that. I mean, it's been around for so long. Their music is so important. A lot of people know them now because of being on Jimmy Fallon, but they've got way deeper roots than that. And obviously, Questlove and everybody there is so respected. So we're super excited about that. I'm really thrilled that right before them is a band called BCUC. They're from South Africa. They sing in 11 different South African languages.
Yeah, Soweto.
And won the Womex Award this year. They're incredible. I just had goosebumps when I saw them play. I don't know if Fiona saw them too at Womex, and just goosebumps. And so I'm like really thrilled. Nobody knows who they are, and the Roots probably don't know who they are, but it's one of those things where I'm just hoping that the Roots are going to discover BCUC. Yes. So we've got them. We've got fantastic Negrito coming back. He just put on such a kick-ass main stage show last year, and he was really wonderful in the sessions. And so many people were talking about him that we brought him back, and he ended up getting into some other Alberta festivals as well after they saw him. Booker T, when Chris talks about legacy artists and artists with long history, I mean, to me, it's not even just about appealing to people of his age, but appealing to people who follow music for their careers and, younger people, and just wanting to get that depth where you have people that are starting out their careers, people who are new, people who are 50, 60 years into their careers. So him, we also have James Vincent McMorrow, Leif Volbeck, who's a great indie songwriter. Wild Rivers, people are really loving from Winnipeg. Leith Ross from Winnipeg. Katie Tunstall, who I saw last year at Winnipeg solo, and I've always loved her music. I saw her with a band years ago, but she was so great in the sessions that really sold me on having her. So that's some of it. And then we've got, lots and lots of global sounds making movies from Panama, and we have Black Joe Lewis and the Honey Bears coming back. And Terry,
a moment, please, of your time. Let me ask a second question, because that was only one question. I wrote down the indie list: Elliot Brood, Leith Ross, some of you have mentioned, Black Joe Lewis, Robert Finley. Wow. Sonny War, Kaylee Cardinal, who's just releasing an album Friday and Saturday, is on Mulligan's too, CKUA Radio. The McDades, Wyatt C. Lewis, good. And there's a family zone. What about what's going on in the family zone?
Oh, we've got, the face painting and all the entertainment. And we also have Calgary Animated Object Society doing some stuff with the kids, some mask making and things. And we don't, And we don't really have a lot of music in there. We have more interactive kind of performances, but we also have the talk tent. And the talk tent is something where, we have opportunities for other things to happen. We've got some panels. We've got Richard Flohill coming
Richard
back for his
Flohill,
war
yes.
stories. And it's an opportunity just to do something different. We have a hip hop cipher. So we have a local Indigenous group who does hip hop, participatory hip hop, and we do it in that area. So we'll one up you there for your dance there, Fiona.
I would fly to Calgary just to heckle Richard Flohill.
Well,
me too. I'm going to.
Don't stop yourself.
And I'm going to, Terry. That's what I'm going to Calgary for. I get in Saturday. I want Flowhill's schedule.
Yeah. So yeah, don't hold yourself back from heckling Flowhill. It's very much encouraged. There's some amazing stories that get told. I haven't set that one up yet, but there's some very interesting and wonderful stories that get told during that time. He's also going to be reading from some of his book and Substack, and T. Niall's going to be doing some of the songs from some artists that he references.
I had a daydream, Kerry, that the Roots and Booker T and the MGs and Fantastic Negrito all jammed on stage. I would have. And then I woke up.
Well, I think you can go back to sleep and keep dreaming, because I think it's entirely possible. You never know. I mean, we're just going through the sessions today, and our tech people were trying to figure out how we could fit all these people on stage and who we need to ask to pair back and things. And there's a few of the sessions where I just think, like, we have Fantastic Negrito, Black Joe Lewis, and BCUC on the stage together. And like, they'll never be together ever again, maybe in the same city, let alone the same stage. Like, people often their bios say, I shared a stage with so-and-so, but what they really mean is Sarah McLachlan was way over there on the big stage. You're over on this stage during your 15-minute set. You never meet her. You're not really sharing your stage. It's like being in the same grocery lineup as, but these people are literally sharing stage. So Margaret Glaspie, Nisa, and KT Tunstall together, like, it's crazy good. Some Country for Bold Women, Bobby Tenderloin Universe from Edmonton, Elliot Brood and Nicolette and the Nobodies. Like, that is going to be magical.
Thank you, Kerry. I appreciate it. Thank you for gathering everyone. As a matter of fact, you were wrangling. What's your website, please, Kerry Clark?
CalgaryFolkFest.com. So not folk festival. We are trying to talk quick.
TikTok quick. My thanks to Kerry Clark, the Calgary Folk Festival Artistic Director, and the Artistic Director of the Vancouver Folk Fest, Fiona Black. Next week, pretty much wrap up with Jenna Klein Waller, the Artistic Director of the Canmore Folk Festival, and finally Terry Wickham, the Grand Folk Fest in the West at the Edmonton Folk Festival, will join us. Thank you for listening. You can always find us at mulliganstew.ca.